whose introduction is almost like a killer out of the horror genre, with him slowly walking towards the camera as it comes into focus. With Captain America Brave New World soon to be released in theaters, we are continuing our look at the Captain America Trilogy with 2014's Captain America the Winter Soldier. As a 10-year-old boy, I remember sitting down next to my dad at our computer and him going to YouTube and showing my older brother and I the elevator fight scene from Captain America the Winter Soldier that was released earlier that year. My introduction to comic book films was seeing Captain America level an entire room full of enemies and then jump out of a window and land on a shield. I would watch the full film within the next several months along with Captain America the First Avenger. This film is almost now 12 years old, and I believe it remains the best of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. When I talked about Captain America the First Avenger, I did mention the inherent problem with taking a character inherently tied to a specific time and place into our present day. The character could not stay the same, and I believe Steve Rogers has his biggest growth as a character in this film. The scenes of him at the Smithsonian, as well as his conversation with Peggy, shows us how he's beginning to question his original intentions of becoming a soldier. The film itself, and a handful of the following MCU films, do deal with the theme of questioning and reevaluating your own motives and how the systems you fought for can change, as this film is about a decades-long, multi-tiered conspiracy within S.H.I.E.L.D. Some must be taken down, but others can and should be fought for. In this film, Captain America goes beyond being just a soldier following orders to coming into his ultimate purpose of fighting for freedom, even if it means going against everything he's known. It may seem strange that the film begins with a lighthearted moment between Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson, but I think this has to do with Rogers becoming more acquainted with the present day and meeting a fellow soldier who, like him, is trying to live a normal life, and it seems that that won't be able to work out for either of them. Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, aka Falcon, may have a small role in this film, but this lays the groundwork for how he will be a powerful ally for Steve in the future outside of the main lineup of the Avengers. On that subject, we have Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, and director Nick Fury as the main Avengers characters heavily featured in this film. Scarlett Johansson's performance here, though she is excellent in Avengers Endgame, don't get me wrong, is my favorite in this film, probably because she has a lot more to work with than she normally does. Her back and forth with Steve Rogers is the main relationship for most of this film, and both actors do a great job with this brother and sister-esque dynamic. This is the first film also where we start to get more of Black Widow's past, though not directly until later. Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, as in 2012's Avengers, has a major role in The Winter Soldier, and the script once again gives the actor room to shine. The director of S.H.I.E.L.D. has everything he stood for questioned and destroyed as his own organization has slowly been formed to turn against him. This film very wisely spends no time getting into the action, starting with the opening Lumerian Star sequence and the soon following incredible road chase between Nick Fury and the false cops. This is when we first encounter the main villain of the film, whose introduction is almost like a killer out of the horror genre, with him slowly walking towards the camera as it comes into focus. The Winter Soldier, revealed later to be James Buchanan Barnes, Steve Rogers' best friend, though still just an enhanced human, is still a terrifying antagonist and one of, if not the best villains of the MCU. His fight scenes are brutal and a big step up from those of the previous films, showing his equal strength with our main hero. Hydra's assassin is not alone, as he is joined by Secretary Alexander Pierce and an old enemy, Dr. Arnim Zola. The script for Pierce may not be anything special per se, but when you have an actor like Robert Redford in the role, he can take it and make it great. The Secretary is a present-day believer in Hydra's ideology and uses his influence in the government and the intelligence community to push it almost to success. He, of course, is a disciple of those who came before him, namely Dr. Arnim Zola, played once again by Toby Jones, who you could say plays a bigger role in this film than he did in the last one. The scientist is the mastermind behind almost all the evils we encounter in this film. He designed the Winter Soldier program, he led the infiltration into S.H.I.E.L.D., and he created the algorithm that would later be used by the helicarriers of Project Insight to destroy anyone Hydra saw as a present or future threat. As I said earlier, this film is about conspiracies, shadow organizations, and not knowing who to trust. And I will admit at this point that this movie handles this idea better than another comic book film we know and love. Like I said with Captain America the First Avenger, it can be very difficult to take a 20th century character into our time. I believe with this film, we are shown that Captain America is still a very relevant symbol to the world today. The Winter Soldier shows us a world of mysterious assassinations, infiltrated governments, and malevolent human forces. All the heroes and villains get their moments to shine, and the movie takes the action of the MCU to the next level. This film is still my favorite of the MCU, and I will say it also is my favorite comic book film of all time. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, gets a 10 out of 10. Hello everybody, welcome back to Movies with Michael. If you enjoyed this movie review, you can show it by leaving a like on this video and comment down below what you thought about this movie. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or was it right there in between? You can tell me all that down below in the comments section. And please remember to subscribe to this channel and click the notification icon to be notified about my latest videos. That's all for now, and I'll see you all next time.